What is going on, all you card collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the 40-year-old collector. So today we're going to be talking about the guy who I think is the smartest man in the hobby. I guarantee you it's not for the reasons that you think, but I'm really excited to share with you why I think the guy's changing the game. Before we get into that, I want to remind everybody that December is Cards Against Cancer Month here at the 40-year-old collector. So for every new subscriber that we get, we're donating $2 to our local children's cancer charity. It's the same charity that helped my family out a whole lot when my daughter was diagnosed. So if you like what you see, if you want more, smash that subscribe button. Not only will you get some cool content from me, but you're also going to be doing good. So super excited to say that. Now, without further ado, who do I think is the smartest man in the entire hobby? It just so happens to be Mr. Geoff Wilson with the Sports Card Investor. Now, unless you've been under some YouTube rock for the last couple years, there's no way that you're into the hobby and you've missed his Sports Card Investor YouTube channel. It is everywhere. I know it's at the top of my newsfeed. I know I subscribe to it. To be honest with you, Geoff Wilson in the Sports Card Investor YouTube channel is why I created this YouTube channel. I loved what he was doing, but me and him don't agree on a lot of collecting philosophies. And I thought, hey, this guy's super smart. He has an awesome channel. I can try and do the same thing with a little less capital, but approach it from a different direction. Because let's be honest, in this hobby, one of the things that I love about it is there's a bunch of different ways to find joy in it. And just because he sees it one way and I see it another way, certainly doesn't mean that either of us are right or wrong. So it was him who inspired me to get this channel going. And he's the one I look up to. Like, I think the guy's a rock star. So super excited to share with you some of those things. And also, I have a board where I track all of the videos that I'm going to be posting, okay? So I have that all the way out till mid-2023. I jumped this video up in production, and I want to address why. So there has been a lot of inflammatory and a lot of hate videos focused around Geoff Wilson recently, and most predominantly it's been focused around his other company, not Sports Card Investor, but another company of his taking a PPP loan. And so I just want to, from my personal side, say that I don't know Geoff Wilson personally. I don't know the other person who's reporting this personally. But what I will say is this. I'm sure like most of you, we all were in business throughout the pandemic. Every business that I know of took PPP loans. Every business that I was associated with that I know of took PPP loans, and they used them for the right reason. Can you imagine what would have happened to all of us if we didn't have those PPP loans to keep people employed, to keep the economy flowing? So this person's accusing Geoff of using PPP loans for misappropriation. I don't believe any of it. I think the guy's full of malarkey. I think that he's searching for clickbait. I think that he's looking for inflammatory content. If you look at the history of all of his stuff, he never posts anything positive. He's always looking for the negative side of things. I do believe that there's value in reporters who always look for the other side of the coin, right? Like, we need to have transparency in the hobby. There needs to be people who holds everybody accountable. But I feel like these are some personal attacks, and I feel like out of all of the other attacks that this gentleman has, I feel like this is the most unfounded of them all and probably the poorest thought out. So anyways, I wanted to say that about him. I will also tell you this. It is hard to fake character. Okay, even through a camera, it's hard to fake character. You can tell by the way people talk. You can tell by the way they interact with other human beings. You can tell just by the way they speak and the way they hold themselves. Geoff Wilson, to me, seems like an extremely high character guy. I'm telling you, my favorite video of him is when him and his son went to a card show and his son did the biggest purchase ever. I think that was the title of the video. The pure joy and excitement and love that Geoff had for his son when that was all transpiring. You can't fake any of that. You cannot be a scumbag person and have that kind of feeling and that kind of love for another human being, even if it is your own son. So, do good people do bad things? Yes. Do good people make bad decisions? Yes. But I'm going to hear, when I look at the character of the other person and I look at the character of Geoff Wilson, I feel like this is very unfounded, and I don't think it's fair, and I don't see anybody coming to Geoff's defense. And even though I'm a zero YouTube channel and nobody's going to see this, I just felt like it's the right thing to do. I don't like bullies. So, Geoff Wilson, I think you're a rock star, man. You're the reason I created this channel, and I'm here for your support, as little as that may mean. But now that that's out of the way, I'll get off my soapbox. The whole reason I'm doing this channel on Geoff Wilson isn't because of his Sports Card Investor channel. A lot of people are out there saying, oh, Geoff spent all this money on sports cards, and now the sports card market is going down. That may be true, but I'm going to walk you through why Geoff Wilson is playing chess, everybody else is playing checkers, and the people who are reporting these negative things are probably at best playing tic-tac-toe. And the reason Geoff's playing chess is because of Market Movers, everybody. Market Movers is his app that you do a monthly subscription, and it gives you all of these awesome features in the card collecting world. So let me jump into that here, and we'll start getting into some detail. So when you look at his view library. Okay, Geoff Wilson has a lot of videos, they drop a lot of content, but you'll see in the bottom left hand corner, like his biggest views come from the videos where he spends the most money. Like, as I said before, I'm a very small YouTube channel, but my biggest views come from when I say I'm turning $1,000 into $25,000, or I'm saying, hey, look at this $15,000 card, or whatever. That big dollars, it attracts viewers. So yes, he's spending a ton of money on cards, but his intent is to get people to watch the channel. You know, I think the cards appreciating is a secondary byproduct of him buying these cards. But here's what I will say. So let's look at this channel. He has what, 100,000, we'll say 215,000 views probably just in these 8 videos alone. Okay, and these videos were posted over 2 weeks. So that's 8 videos in 2 weeks, 20-something thousand views, or 200-something thousand views. Now remember, he's also sponsored by eBay. He's sponsored by Midwest Cards. He's sponsored by Slab Savers. He's sponsored by a stand company. I can never think of their name, but a stand company. So he's getting income from that as well. He's not making a ton of money from YouTube on his views. I don't know, my channel's not monetized, but what I read online is that for every 1,000 views, you make $3. So if you think about 200,000 and change views, that's not a lot of money from YouTube. But he's got a sponsorship, and what he's doing is he's getting people to watch his videos. He doesn't care about the money from YouTube. The sponsorships are probably nice, but he just wants you to watch. And the reason that he wants you to watch is because he wants you to become a Market Mover member. And before we jump into the details around that, I'm going to tell you this. I have sold subscription products for a long, long time. I have been fortunate and worked for some amazing companies where we've had some amazing products delivering great customer service. And the idea here is we create a product that's so great, you can't imagine living your life without it. That is how you build a successful program. That is what Geoff's trying to do with Market Movers in the sports card area. So we talked about that. They should, and I'm sure they do, they have some formula where they say, okay, for every X number of viewers, we expect X number of people to sign up for Market Movers. And before I get into the details, I just want to be abundantly clear. I know nothing about his business model. I don't know any of his numbers. These are purely assumptions based off me. They could be right positive, they could be right negative, they could be way off by a million miles. I don't know, but I'm just going to tell you this. I do know the subscription business, so hopefully most of these assumptions make sense. So again, their goal is to get you to watch the channel and get you to sign up for Market Movers and generate this machine of monthly revenue. So they have 3 different packages. One's at $10 a month, one's at $25 a month, one's at $50 a month. I will say this is where I differ a little bit. I think these prices are incredibly high, especially for a relatively new product. I've always found super success in driving this great product with great customer service, and we start our prices low. We start them low. We generate this huge subscriber base who just loves the product and they're super frothy with it, and we just keep investing and keep investing. And then suddenly we reach a point where we have this huge number of subscribers and we finally have to raise the price just a little. And we don't raise the price to be an idiot, or we don't raise it to be mean, or we don't raise it simply because, oh, we just can. We raise it because we've been investing in it and we eventually have to capitalize on that investment and we have to make money. Okay? So I had a product one time, it had 1.2 million subs. We finally got to the point where we had to raise the price, raised it by $5. We only had 2% drop off, 98% of the people remained, and we ended up putting $60 million on the bottom line because nobody wanted to leave. They loved the product. It was a part of their life. It was a big win for everybody, big win for the consumer, big win for the company. So I've got a million stories like that. But here he is. Those are his products. I think a little bit high out of the gate, but we'll see. So now, in these next slides, it gets a little mathy, okay? And I'm going to run through this at a high level, and I hope that it doesn't bore you and make you sign off, because it really is important to understand why Geoff Wilson does what he does. So remember, his whole goal is to get views. And then outside of that, they have an idea of how many people are going to sign up based off of how many views. So we're going to use some super low but round numbers. So we're going to say, out of those 8 videos that I showed you, let's say the average view was 25,000 views per video, okay? Let's say that they get 0.5% of those views to sign up and be Market Mover customers. That's crazy low. I hope it's not that low, but over time you're going to get repeat viewers, so maybe that's accurate. I don't know behind the curtain, but let's say 0.5% sign up as Market Mover subs. That gives you 125 new subs per 25,000 view video at $20. I just rounded it off. I don't think a lot of people are paying $50. That $10 product doesn't have a ton of meat in it, so I think most people are doing $25. So we'll just say the average monthly revenue per new sub is $20. That gives us, for every new video, $2,500 in new monthly recurring revenue, okay? So let's say he drops 10 videos a month. I just showed you 8 videos dropped in 2 weeks, so I think this is an incredibly conservative number. I think they drop closer to 15 to 20, somewhere in that realm a month, but we're gonna use 10 because I'm a basic person. I like basic round numbers. 10 videos a month, $2,500 a month in revenue per video. So now they've generated $25,000 a month in recurring revenue. But there's going to be a percentage of people that don't stay around past 30 days. They get in, they try it, they don't like it, they churn. That's what we call it. So we'll say there's an 80% stick rate, 20% drop off in the first 30 days. So now in actuality, that video, those 10 videos, give him $20,000 a month in recurring revenue. Okay? Super basic math, but when you put it all together, it gives you a formula that people can use to predict based off of the number of views they expect, the actual revenue they'll generate off these videos. So you'll see month one, hey, listen, after attrition, month one, we generated $20,000 in new monthly revenue. We go to month two, we do the same thing. We drop 10 new videos, we get $20,000 a month in new revenue, but we still have that sub base from month one. Like they have transitioned from month one, now they're into month two. What happens is a percentage of those people drop off. So we'll say we lose 10%. 10% of the people are like, no, that's not for me. So month one sub goes from $20 to $18,000. Month three, the same thing happens. You lose another 10% from month one. So that $18,000 goes to $16,200. And then in month 4, 5, 6, from then on, the attrition's really small. You only start to lose about 2% per month because the reality is once you have somebody in your subscription-based system for 90 days, they're going to stay with you for a long time. Product average is 24 to 36 months, but with a great product and a great service, you can go much longer than that. So when you see this and you see the power of this compounding over time and you look at even with these terrible sub rates, even with these terrible attrition rates, you see that by month 6, they're generating $101,000 of monthly revenue just off of, 60 videos? That is why Geoff Wilson gets to do this amazing project where he buys these incredible sports cards, and if they go up in value, great. If they go down in value, who cares? He gets to have so much fun traveling around the US, going to card shows, spending time with his family, being all in the sports card thing, buying these cards. But the real intent of all of that and why he's playing chess, everybody else is playing checkers, is because he's just trying to build this subscription base because that's where the real money is, okay? Again, I want to finish this off with saying I don't know any of Geoff's numbers. These are all guesses. These are all assumptions based off of my professional experience in this space, okay? So if he's doing this, if his numbers are anywhere close to this, at the end of the day, he probably doesn't care much about the cardboard value. That's more of like the hobby side of things versus a business side of things. So when people say, oh, his prices are up or down, whatever, doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter because his only goal is to build the subscription base. All right, so now I talked to you in the beginning about Geoff Wilson's the one who inspired me to do this channel. Not because I wanted to be like him, but because I have some different opinions of him. And so here's where we differ. The name of my channel is, the 40-Year-Old Collector, a collecting channel for all. And those words were chosen very carefully by me. That's because I think this is a collecting hobby. I think it's very, very difficult to profit from this hobby. I'm not saying it can't be done. There's a lot of smart people out there who have a lot of tools and a lot of resources and a lot of time dedicated to it. And I'm sure they make a lot of money. But for the average person like you and me who has to buy and sell on eBay, who has to make sure that we get in and out at the right time, we have to make sure that the players that we buy do the right things. There's a lot of factors in the sports card hobby that makes it really, really hard to profit from it. So when I was creating my channel, I wanted to create it more around a collector, somebody who's going to buy their cards and hold them, and it's going to bring them joy, and it's going to be a part of their family for generations to come. You do hear me talk about, hey, my cards have appreciated or my net worth has gone up, but to be completely transparent, that's all paper. Right? That's paper net worth gain, because the only way I can ever actualize those capital gains is if I sell my cards. And I'm never going to sell my cards, right? My goal is to pass it on to my children and my children's children, and I want it to go on just for infinity. Who knows what the future holds? So I don't really like coming from the, hey, this is going to get you to profit, this is how you're going to make money in the sports card hobby. It's not my area of expertise. It's just not something that I think I want to get out there. I'll talk about it a little bit, but it's certainly not going to be the backbone of this channel. The other thing too, he's into more modern, I'm into more vintage, old school collecting. But at the end of the day, I just think he's a great guy. So, I'm hoping someday to run into him. I would love to talk to him about old school vintage collectors like me who've been doing it for, 20 years versus, these new young guns like him and his team who've been doing a little bit less time and they're throwing big money on big modern slabs. I'd love to have a good debate with him about that. But, I just hate it when people have their names dragged through the mud. So I wanted to bump this video up, talk about why I think this guy's an absolute genius, why I think that everything he's doing is great for the hobby, which is great for you and me. The more people in the hobby, the better for us. We want people to be excited. We want people to be involved. The only negative thing I can say about Geoff Wilson so far is that he's a Gators fan. Go Vols. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this content. As I said earlier, this is Cards Against Cancer Month. So if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and know that a lot of good's going to come from that because there's some serious kids in needs at this time of year. So have a great one. Later, everybody.